Hey, what's up? I was gonna do the lead in. I got tired of that shit. Let's look and see what we got at the market. Got to get our audio recording because the YouTube transcript is not on that. So I'll record a voice note up to jump share at the same time, and I use that audio recording. So we're going to start it back over. Got a bunch of mess on our charts here. What's up, Skip Do Dandy? It is 2:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 24, 2026 Eastern Standard Time. Not those fake time zones. Don't let anybody convince you that those time zones are real when they're just fake, man. Eastern is the only time zone that matters. You can argue Central, but I digress. It's still not Eastern, is it? Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our markets. Got our day trader stuff up here. I haven't put in the monthly levels up towards the top. Alright, I'm working on some AI stuff, and it's great, it's this, it does this quick, it does that quick, but it's very noticeable, especially when you throw together a bunch of cheap-ass AI apps, whatever it is, cheap-ass websites, without really digging deep. And there's some instances, if it's just a cheap quality or cheap, maybe that's all you need. But if you're supposed to be high-tech, cutting-edge, and you've got the same AI output as everybody else, maybe you need to define what can make you different. Let's go ahead and get into this now. Got that 7360. Well, what was it? 7350, 55, 54. Couldn't quite take out 7350, 7300 for that matter. You gotta break through this shit. So you really want to break through that. 7335. Then you can V-line here to 73. Couple things there. 7235. Finally 7200. And if you can get back into here, 7150 basically, 4258 area, 714258. Might approach back into 7020. Once we get some down, I'll put some upside areas. I just like to explore these before I put a weekly or monthly. There's not a lot, there's a lot of data over here and all these. Well, it could be debatable. But I'm leaving this clear up here. And you're going to see, we're going to go out to the daily right now. And you had to have 7540, then you had 7524. Backing off to, so it is pretty good understanding we closed below 7500, right? What would you be looking for here on bear side? And that depends on whether they're going to come out of the gate tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, and try and float this back, weasel up to this 7600. That's a weasel ass move, by the way. Only a scumbag piece of shit market would weasel up to 7600, but this is a pretty scummy piece of shit market. So right, you're getting this right here, slightly lower, so you're getting that. I don't know if we could say call it a channel right here, and then if it did that for a while, you still would only be like 7320. See that? If you had a channel like this. Now if your channel was like that, I'm doing it up here. Obviously if your channel was like that, we could wheedle down here to 7020. I don't get so much caught up in channels. I just throw them up as a proposed ideal here and there. So Let's go ahead and get back into the 15, and we're gonna throw some of our shite on here. And I always like this one. I like the thick candle wicks. You gotta do that. So you can see where we pushed in that 7486 right above 35. We'll classify it as a yellow 42 because it did come up here to 94, cooled off 74, 72. Got a bottom there and push up, boom, and almost got to 74.26 down. So it's important right now for the 75.26, 74.94 area to head increased pressure. Now I could gap up and even wind up here to 75.06, 610, 74.35 there. Or you just get a clear rejection off 75, or we just take these two rejection ideals here off the 26 and 94, press down here to 58, and finally break that 74.50 and hit 74.35. So if we were coming into 74.80 right here, which is where we are, especially if we gap down, I would look for 74.35. If we can hold this, and they just sort of chop between, well, that was an ugly thing. Get up here and chop between 0010, 0020 for a long time. Chances are they're going to do that, okay? Simple as that. You'd like to see it break down and come to 73.80 and finally hit that 73.50. So right now, like I said, your 80 is very important. Your 35, if you want to quadrant it in low to high like that, you want to quadrant the lower one in right here. I'm going to stick with yellow band and add that exuberance to 74.58, 74.42, 26, and finally take out that 73.94. Those are all valid predictions or estimates of market behavior. This is not AI. This is me looking at shit on charts and talking. Never anything preconceived. We only talk about what we're seeing when we hit the record button and we're going live. Never, ever, not one time shall we put a bunch of fake preconceived bullshit down, right? AI is meant to assist and help, but maybe it can do auto stuff sometimes. Alright, but you can see that here. So 74.50. Let's go ahead and tie it in here. 74.58, 74.94. So you got one check, two check yellow, boom, boom, boom. And if this is strong, what happens? You get a 100-point rejection on 94. You get a 100-point rejection on 72. So they gotta scoop this shit up pretty quick. We're gonna just have some fun down here below 73.50. It's all got on ES futures. NQ, nasty Q here. We can leave up some shit. I don't do a lot of Q coverage because I'm mostly focused on ES and then use whatever is there. Doing some AI stuff here right now. Alright, I'm looking to see how to improve that. So you can see that same type of shit here. And I'm not taking all these indicators off. You see that? You can make a channel assumption here. Whoa! Alright. I'd like to see all this shit break and then come down here 27, 628. Right in there. Well, you can see this area. 26, 400. to 27,600. That 1,200 point zone there. That'd be very interesting to dive into that. Alright, let's see what we got on the crude oil. It's 96. You got to stay below $100. Simple as that. We got our target on crude oil. Still yet, crude oil CO. You're looking for a 72 to 86 chop zone, midline 80. Simple as that. Alright, and let's go ahead and take a look. We're actually not going to take a look at metals. We don't really care about metals today. I went over everything I want to go at. I don't charge anything. If you want more information, there's plenty of places to get it. Sorry about that. 9:51, under 10 minutes. Peace out, brothers and sisters.